I want everybody who's watching this video to understand that if you are not extremely successful, all of your parents, your grandparents, your aunts, your uncles, everyone you love and care about will be forgotten in time. Nobody will give a shit about who you are, and by extension, the people who sacrificed their lives for you to exist will fade into obscurity. We can sit here right now and talk about Genghis Khan, and we will talk about his parents because he's such an exceptional person. Where did he come from? I understood that one day everybody I love is going to die. If I want them to be remembered and respected, I have to do such amazing things that they talk about my origin story. My father was an amazing man, but he is primarily spoken about today because of me. If I was normal, he would have been forgotten to time. Do you love the people who have raised you? Do you love yourself? Do you have enough self-confidence and enough self-respect to want your last name to mean something? When people say the last name Tate, that means something. If you're gonna go up, if you're gonna join a competition, doesn't matter what it is, an arm wrestle, fucking bungee jumping, anything, and they said you're competing against Tate, the second you hear that name, you're nervous. I have made my name valuable. I've been instilled with this duty to perform because I understand if I don't, everybody I have ever loved is going to fade into obscurity, and I am going to fade into obscurity, lost into the passage of time.
You can say whatever you want about me. You can call me arrogant. You can call me anything you want, but you cannot call me a quitter. I didn't quit. So that's the difference. When it was hard, I did it anyway. That's who I've always been. And if you don't have that kind of tenacity, you're never going to be anything. So the people who come along and talk about passive income, they sound like quitters to me. They sound like people who don't want to work. I love work. I'm ready to work. I'll dig a hole. Bro, you offer me $1 billion right now and give me a shovel, I'll dig a hole. I don't give a fuck. Give me the shovel, give me the money. I will dig a hole. I'm not afraid of work.
If it's player versus player and you're competing against everybody else, because you're competing against everybody else all the time, and you want to also on top of that be low energy and lethargic and lazy, well then you just don't stand a chance. You'll get wrecked. There are people out here who are prepared to work their ass off.
Yeah.
If you're not going to be that guy, then you're going to fucking lose. But nearly all the ways to make money, I was saying a little bit earlier, are Ponzi schemes to a degree. And that's what's kind of interesting about it. It's unfortunate that certain people in nearly any industry or any money generating avenue are always going to get wrecked. And that's just kind of how it works. And that's the way the whole system, the whole world works.
I think that men are givers. And as a man, you're going to feel happiest if you're giving. I think we're built to give anyway. If you look at a man who's depressed or really sad, I don't think a lot of them are giving as much as perhaps they should. Or if you look at a man who doesn't have the capability to give. But if you take a man, you put him in an important position, and let's say even me, 110 people rely on me for a wage. I feed thousands of children around the world every single month. I feed kids, as TatePledge.com you can see, I feed kids in Somalia and Turkey, the earthquake, I was feeding children. If I feel like shopping and spending money, I find myself buying shit for other people. I don't want it for me, I have everything. I like to see, it really is better to give than to receive. I think that's the true masculine role is to give things. And the feminine role or the subservient role for a child is to be grateful for it. I think even a relationship is better that way. I love to have a woman and she can be a spoiled princess as long as she spoils me back with unlimited gratefulness. I'm not gonna have an entitled, ungrateful woman, but if she's extremely grateful, I like to give. I don't want her to buy me stuff. It's not interesting to me.
If you're the kind of person who's gonna quit because it's hard, then fuck off. I don't even want your energy around me because quitters are the worst people on the planet. You can give a quitter absolutely everything and they will still fail. You can give it, doesn't matter what it is. If you go to IKEA and buy a flat pack fucking table and put it in front of a quitter, you will never have a table. He'll look at it, it's just long, and he'll quit. Quitters can have every single advantage. Quitters can have all the information. Quitters can have all the tutelage. Quitters can have a mentorship. Quitters can have someone who messages them every morning, hey bro, let's get it. And guess what they're gonna do at the end? Quit. They ain't never gonna have shit. So if you're a quitter, I don't even want you even inside my organization. I don't want quitters anywhere near me because you're never gonna be successful. And the people who join and then quit because they had to do an hour's work are the people who come along and go, take this, maybe it's a scam. Idiots, peons. They will stay brokies and wagies forever. Leave them there, right? You need the people who don't quit. I don't quit. Every single facet of my life is testament to the fact that I don't quit.
Do you want to matter? Do you want your bloodline to matter? Do you want your son to be raised in a family name that he is proud of? Or do you want to be a fucking nobody? If you want to be a nobody, fine, go be a nobody. But don't lie to yourself. Don't sit here and say, I don't want to be a nobody, but I lack motivation. Because that's not true. If you don't want to be a nobody, you never lack motivation. You either want to be a somebody or you fucking don't. You have to decide. You can't sit here and fool yourself and fool God by lying and saying, I don't want to be a nobody and I want my last name to matter and I want to be rich and I want to live a perfect life and I want to be top G, but I struggle with motivation. then you're a liar. Because I never in my life have ever struggled with motivation because I knew who I wanted to be and I knew what I had to do to get there.
I've never met anybody who is in fantastic shape, and you say, how'd you get in fantastic shape? And he goes, oops. Don't know, bro. Just oops. No, absolutely not. I went to the gym every day. I ate this particular way. I had a meal plan. I dieted. Nothing is going to happen on accident.
Yeah.
This mindset of when my ship comes in, one day it's just going to, well, you're going to win the lottery? Maybe. And that's another thing that's actually funny, talking about winning the lottery. I used to dream of winning the lottery, bro. How much is a lottery win nowadays?
It depends on the win. Could be anything.
6, 7? No, not Euro.
I don't know anything about the lottery because I think it sucks.
But man, like I used to dream of winning the lottery, thinking that my life would change, and now like 6, 7 million. That's a year. That's a year of jets. That's nothing. Like it's not even money anymore.
They say that you are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Everybody knows that, but then they don't curate their circle. If you hang around with people who are free thinking and perspicacious and use their minds and look around and come to their own conclusions, and they're doing well and they're working hard and they're dedicated and they're rich, you're not going to be the only idiot. You're going to end up adopting some of their qualities and they're not going to talk to you anymore, right? So you're going to have to. So I think the most important thing you can do is just make sure you have a social circle of people around you trust. And I get more information from my social circle than I will do from any news network. Let's say COVID-2 comes back. I'll text all my friends. Is this bollocks? You good? You good? You good? You good? Everyone? Yeah, bollocks? All right, bollocks.
The only way he fought and beat his depression was one day he got up, grabbed himself by the bootstraps, got in the gym, became the champ again, brought himself back to the former champion he was. Mm-hmm. He did it himself, right? And I think that that's really the only way any of these things can be beaten. I think if I were to talk to Tyson or Tyson were to talk to anybody, he'd say the same thing. He'd say, look, end of the day, even if you're struggling, it's you that's gonna have to get up and get the work done and change your life. I think that a lot of the help, which is being purported now by the system, by the Matrix, isn't designed to help. I think it's designed to keep people in this state of depression, because when you're depressed, you're submissive. You don't care about what happens to you if you're depressed. Depressed people aren't gonna riot against a new law or against COVID tyranny because they're depressed. They're too busy. They're at home and they're sad. I think that keeping everybody in a degree of semi-neutral depression, semi-sad, is good for their ability to control all of us. So when they go on the TV and say, you're depressed, it's a disease, you can't fix it, there's nothing you can do about it, it's not your fault, I think they're just trying to reinforce in your mind that you're never gonna get better. I think if they really cared, they'd say, like Tyson Fury says, you're depressed, but you can beat this. You can do this. I don't hear them saying that very often. They just sit there and say, everyone's depressed and it's normal. Accept it. And I don't accept that. I don't think people should sit there and accept that they're sad.